Hi, and welcome to the Crit Hit Wild podcast, where we cover all things Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we do a new character every week. This week, we're going to be doing Magik, and I'm your host, Fred.
I'm Brad.
And I'm Brandon.
Hey guys, how's it going? This week, Steven I think he's driving a 12-hour drive today, so he will not be joining us, unfortunately. But we'll get his take on Magik next week. How are the two of you doing? How are you doing, Brad?
I'm doing fine.
That's good to hear. How are you doing, Brandon?
I'm doing good.
I'm glad to hear that. It is a
A
rainy.
lot has actually happened. A lot actually happened while you were gone, to be fair, that I just
While I
realized
was gone?
you don't know about.
Oh, really? What happened?
Mhm. I quit my job.
Oh, okay. Congratulations. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. Now, a fun fact, that's the overwhelming response, which is kind of funny. But
Well, I mean, I don't want to get into the details because
yeah, we can talk about it
details.
later. I just realized, just realized when we talked about that there was actual information and like life things that happened that you didn't get to know
That I
about
didn't
that
know
you
about.
didn't
You're
know about.
right.
Yeah, which is usually rare because we usually talk a lot on like Thursdays, but you were out of town.
Yeah.
So it's sorry, but
Yeah, well,
yeah,
I'm happy for you. I'm glad
thank you.
because
Thank you.
that was you were in a bad situation.
It was a really bad situation. It's very relieving to be out of said situation. So
Well, everyone out there, congratulate Brandon, and that's all that we need to go into.
Brad is trying so hard right now not to use the soundboard.
Oh no, I can't because we're recording
Oh,
my
thank God.
screen,
Oh, thank God.
so I can't go over
Okay.
to it.
uh, everyone, Brad found a soundboard and he was playing with it earlier, and it would turn our podcast into a morning zoo. So I'm happy that he cannot use it. But let's move on to news and announcements. I don't think that we have any news and announcements from AMG. There is going to be a tournament coming up today, not today, this week on Saturday, the 16th of December at Lost Legion Games and Comics. Uh, it will be a regular MCP tournament, and come on down. It'll be fun. It'll probably just be Brad, myself, Brandon, and maybe someone else. We'll see. But if anyone else wants to join, come on down. We would love to have you.
Borka did say he was going to try.
I think
Okay.
Jared might be trying to come too.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
And
For those of you who have been longtime listeners, you may get to, if you can come down, you might get to play against the original host of this podcast. The better host, as many people have
wow,
stated.
nobody has ever stated that.
Literally
I mean, I
nobody
have.
has ever commented that, Fred.
Nobody has ever stated that. Fred is the only one that's ever said that.
Because I know myself and I know Jared. All right. Well, other than that, I think that's it for news and announcements. Do you guys have any games that you have played recently that you want to talk about?
Oh, me first.
All right, Brad, take it away.
I finally got to play Shatterpoint again. I ran a demo. It was fun. I lost really bad.
He only misplayed like 75 times.
I did not misplay.
Did you forget about things your cards did? How many times?
Oh, yeah, at the beginning of the game several times. But I never played with any of the models I played with in this game. And I also didn't.
What were you playing?
I played Mace Windu, Commander Wolf, and the Wolf Pack. Nope, that's Plo Koon. ARF Troopers and Pawns. That's who it was with Mace Windu. And then I played Barris and shoot, why can't I think of her name? All I can think of is Hera's last name, Cinderella.
Illuminata.
Yeah. And Clone Commandos.
Okay. Okay.
And he played uh,
Anakin, Obi-Wan.
Anakin, Obi-Wan, the 212th, and the 501st. Yeah,
Okay. And he crushed you.
he crushed me. He won the first two struggles.
What
Okay.
what our listeners also need to know is the like Anakin and Obi-Wan are two of the best characters in Shatterpoint.
I
Obi-Wan
looked.
arguably
I was
being the
looking
best
on
character in Shatterpoint.
looked on Longshanks the other day. Anakin, I think, had the lowest win rate.
Did he?
Yeah,
Did Obi-Wan have the highest?
uh, near. I think he was number
Yeah.
two.
Hmm.
Yeah. I knew he was really high. I could see Anakin have falling off because he's kind of like a glass cannon, but I knew Obi-Wan was like really had always been really,
Yeah,
really high.
Well, I'm glad you got a game in. I'm
me
glad that
too.
someone played some Shatterpoint. The thing is, for me, it's I have very little gaming time, and my gaming time is taken up by Marvel Crisis Protocol or Song of Ice and Fire. And I like Shatterpoint. I played a game of it, and I enjoyed the game that I played. It's just it's a distant third to those other two. So I feel bad that I've left the Shatterpoint world unexplored, but I only have so much brain space
And time.
and time. Really, more the brain space thing nowadays.
That checks.
All right. Well, Brandon, I know that you've played a game recently.
I played two games recently.
All right, tell us
I
about them.
I played Thanos led Black Order in one game, and then I played a Black Order game with Corvus's leadership. The first game we played with Thanos, they're both against Guardians of the Galaxy. I played Noah twice. The first game was Thanos. We played. How many points did we play? I'm trying to remember who all I played. Played Thanos, Corvus, Proxima, and Wong. So 18. It was Hammers and Gamma because it's always Hammers and Gamma for some reason.
Mm-hmm. I hate
It's
it.
it's, it's super common.
I hate that
Um,
combo. That combo sucks. That combo's
and
Hulk's best friend.
I have never. This was actually the first time I've ever played Thanos. I played Thanos with the Mind Stone and the Space Stone, um, which was really fun. So, but it wasn't really. I rolled historically bad on both offense and defense. I moved Thanos. He moved Rocket on his back point, so I moved Thanos up and then pulled Rocket all the way to my back point and was unable to daze him.
Oh my goodness. You
So
must have rolled
Thanos,
really bad.
yeah, so Thanos then had an attack, didn't do any damage. He brought Groot up. Um, I spent like 5 attacks into Groot, and I think eventually, well, 4 real attacks, then a Wong slap. It's not really an attack. Um, but I mean, attacks with Corvus that added dice from Thanos, I just couldn't get through. And I couldn't get through Groot to get the rocket. Like it was just bad. I think I may have dazed him on the last attack, but it was just I mean, it was bad. And then on the flip side, Thanos rolled 0 defensive successes. Corvus rolled 0 defensive successes. Like I blocked like a total of 4 damage, all from damage reduction, not from like defensive blocks. So Corvus ended up dazing. Thanos ended up dazing. Corvus got killed like on turn 3. I think I only had 2 activations with Corvus. Like,
Oh my goodness. This is
yeah,
going very poorly.
yeah, it ended up being a really bad game. He ended up winning that game, and then we played.
Was
Ironically,
question
Pro.
before we move on. Before we
Yeah.
move on, was he playing Hulk?
No. So he played Cosmic Ghost Rider, Beta
Okay,
Ray
there it is.
Bill, and then so he played that 10, and then the 3, 3, and 2. So Beta Ray Bill, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Star Lord, Groot, Rocket.
Okay.
So he played that. That's why Cosmic Ghost Rider could portal up, and he got 2 shots into Thanos and dealt like he dazed Thanos on turn 1, I believe, by just portaling up and taking 2 6 dice attacks. I literally blocked nothing
Oof.
on either one of them. Yeah, it was really bad. This Proxima, however, did the Lord's work. Proxima actually up and down to Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Oh wow.
But she
This
was like
game
the
is crazy. This
yeah
game
she was
is none of this happened the way that it's supposed to.
yeah she was the only character I had left. But she also putting stun on Cosmic Ghost Rider boys and girls is the way to do it. That's how you stop the Cosmic Ghost Rider. You,
Okay.
you give that boy stun, and it's GG. He does not cooperate, and him having to shake it's essentially a stagger on him. Like he has to shake it.
Huh.
Like
Okay.
he can't like because it stops him from getting power from damage and the power from his ability. Like it just
Yeah, he's immune to a ton of stuff, but he's not immune to stun. Huh.
yeah, like that is the way, boys. I found that I stunned him multiple times throughout um the 2 games we played, and that was it. That's how I figured out. That's how you do it. That's for everyone struggling with Cosmic Ghost Rider, find some characters that give out stun. I can put a little list. We can throw some really common ones together for you. It's not super uncommon, but it is very good. Um, Thanos gives out stun. I think Thanos and Proxima give out stun. I could be wrong on that.
There are a lot of characters that have stun on their attacks.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
it's
and it's a good
it's
effect.
it's much more common than I thought because I was very able to keep giving it back out. I can't remember who kept giving it back out. I think it was actually Prox. I know Proxima does. And it may have just been Proxima that I was able to just give stun out with her spender. Quantum Starburst gives out stun. Either way,
Okay.
it was he played correctly and was able to get through. We it was very noticeably bad die rolls, which hurts, but that's also an affiliate. I have realized that I think most of that affiliation, the downtick in that is a lot of it is because it's so dice reliant. The second
The
game.
Black Order is dice reliant. Hold on. Like they have all the stones to make their dice better.
Well, reality is the only one that affects your
I
die
mean,
rolls.
yeah,
All right, maybe one more. I don't remember all the
yeah,
stones
but
to be
yeah,
honest.
I think reality is the big one.
Yeah, reality counts. You get to count 1 skull as
And then
a.
Corvus can do the thing where he counts blanks.
Yeah, I mean, if Corvus, I mean, that was so. Let's go into game 2. Let's go into game 2.
Yeah, let's do game 2.
Game 2, I got to play Corvus. I played all Black Order. I played Corvus, Proxima, Black Dwarf, Cosmic Ghost Rider, and then I
You
got to
played
play.
Cosmic.
I played Cosmic, and
Okay.
well, I wanted to play Cosmic in the first game. The points did not allow me to play what I wanted to play, which was, where it was 18. So 18 was tricky because it was Corvus Pro. I wanted to play Corvus Proxima Cosmic Ghost Rider, which is 14 of the points. When I believe we played 18 in this one too, but I did not want to. Like I wanted to play Thanos. I had a weird fight of I wanted to play Thanos in the first game and then Corvus in the second game, but we didn't get to play second game the second day. So I wanted it was either play Cosmic over Corvus and Proxima, and that didn't feel right. And then so it would have been Thanos, Cosmic Ghost Rider, and then a 4 or 2 2s, and I did not want to do that. That did not feel right. So playing 3 wide at 18 did not feel correct, where one of them was going to either be Beta Ray Bill or Black Dwarf.
Okay.
I don't know. It just didn't feel good. Anyway, so game 2, we played tactics cards. We had to play first of the Black Order, which for people who don't know, if Thanos is not in your squad, you can play the card when you're selecting a leadership. Corvus Glaive gains a leadership. It says, when an allied Black Order character dazes or KOs an enemy character, all other Black Order characters gain 1 power. Um, that
It's
is very
nice.
that is very relevant because it was a surplus of power in this game. So I played Corvus Proxima, Cosmic Ghost Rider, and Black Dwarf, who are all pretty big and very killy. He played Guardians. He did not play Rocket and Groot this game. He played Gamora, Nebula, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Star-Lord, Drax.
Okay.
Which was fine. So I played, and then for tax cards, I played Execute, Servants of the Titan. Um, with Servants of the Titan, me and Brad were talking about. I think we may have under anticipated how good this card actually is. Every Black Order character can pay a power. You roll a die. If you get a blank or a crit hit wild, Cosmic Ghost Rider deals a damage to an enemy character within 3 of them, and he suffers a damage for each skull and shield and gains a power. Um, literally just free damage. I got 3 free damage off of it, which was
that's pretty
able to.
incredible.
Yeah, I was able
That's
to
amazing.
I was able to take out a character. So it was. I think I got it on all 4 of them. So I gotta do 4 damage. Then I just gotta like ping, 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 ping.
Wow. Okay.
I was able to protect Corvus with Black Dwarf a little bit. We played Montesi formula and hammers because it has to be hammers, right, Fred? It just has
I
to be.
I hate it. I want you
It
to know
might
that I
not.
hate it.
It may not have been hammer. I'm trying to remember what it was. I know it was.
Well,
No, it was 2 E's. It was Montesi and Demons. We played Montesi and Demons
okay.
because it was 19,
Yeah, it couldn't
right?
have been hammers because it was Montesi.
Yeah, it was 19. It was Demons. We were straight down the middle. It was Demons and Montesi. So I moved Black Dwarf up in the middle point, kind of blocked it, but used his bodyguard on he got to take a couple shots from Corvus. He also played Cosmic Ghost Rider in this game. I was able to suck in a power Cosmic Penance Stare and just let Black Dwarf take it instead of Corvus. Corvus got to do his thing. He got to execute. He executed Cosmic Ghost Rider, and took him out. Corvus got to do the Lord's work in this game. He the so there was a turn. It was turn 2, I believe. He had 10 power. And I was able to Glaive's Edge Death Blow. So I spent 7 power. I got
This is round 2. How do you have that much power?
Well, he gets 2 a turn, and he took like 5 damage.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, I moved him up into the center. He took some attacks. So like, I mean, he survived, but like he barely survived. Turn 2. The penance stare was later in the game that got sucked up. That was just me highlighting Black Dwarf's ability to be amazing. He also got a 3rd size 4 terrain. Black Dwarf's good. Play him. Anyway, so I got a Corvus. I got a Glaive's Edge and Death Blow into, I believe, Drax. I believe I did it into Drax. Dazed Drax, so everybody else got a power. I got to do my flurry attack, which ended up dazing Star-Lord. So everybody else got a power. And then I got to and then off the flurry, I gained power because it was my strike attack. So I was then able, I gained, I think it was 4 or 5 power off of that. So I was back up to like 7. So I was then able to Glaive's Edge Death Blow into Cosmic Ghost Rider, which which ended up dazing him. I ended up getting the flurry, and then I ended up doing it into Nebula, which dazed her. So everybody on my team got 4 additional power, just from the leadership. I rolled. My rolls were complete opposite in this game. They were definitely a lot better. I was hitting triggers and doing a lot of damage. But when you count everything but shields, you're going to do significant amount of damage.
You're gonna work. It works.
Yeah, so in that leadership really let Cosmic Ghost Rider shine because it kept giving him power that I didn't have to really worry about him trying to keep power. I kind of always had the
The
token
psychosis
on him.
thing.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Psychosis token on him so he could count skulls on all his rolls, which is really pertinent to keeping him alive.
Hmm.
Um, so I did miss a
Make
couple
him
of
good.
triggers. I definitely missed I missed a perfect opportunity to play Blood of Despair. Because it's an attack, and when Black Dwarf was killed, I had the power to do a brutal end and play it, and I was focused on making sure Cosmic Ghost Rider got to do his justice on wheels, that I forgot to then play Blood Despair on Black Dwarf. So basically, when Black Dwarf was KO'd, I would have been able to make two attacks. I was going to be able to make a Hellfire Blasters and then a brutal end attack, which is Black Dwarf Spender, just 8 dice attack with a wild stagger.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
yeah, so I should have been able to do both of those, but I kind of got wrapped up in the rest of the game, and I kind of forgot to do that. But it was this game was a lot better. The Corvus leadership definitely helped fuel like Proxima, Cosmic Ghost Rider, um, and made sure Black Dwarf always had power to be able to like throw and do stuff that he wanted to do, throw and bodyguard. Um, so it definitely was useful. It was very useful. I actually liked it a lot more than the Thanos leadership. Being down a tactics card wasn't the funnest. I think I played Execute, First of Black Order, Servants of the Titan, and Blood Despair were my 4 tactics cards that I played.
I have a
Oh,
question.
5. There's a fifth one. Patch Up. I played Patch Up. I didn't play Brace.
Okay. I have a
Go ahead.
question.
I'm ready.
Does that card specify that Thanos can't be in your list?
Hmm.
Can't be on
It
like
says
could
the first line says if your squad does not contain Thanos the Mad
okay.
Titan after deployment, when you would normally select your leadership ability, Chorus Glade may play this card. He
Yep,
gains the
yep,
following
yep.
leadership.
All right.
He can't be the
That
leader
answers
if
my question.
Thanos is there.
Right. Okay. So because I was thinking like how good of a list would it be if you also had Thanos in there? But you can't do
Yeah,
that. So never mind.
yeah. I've been toying around with dropping a stone off Thanos just for math purposes.
Turn
Uh,
him into a 7 instead of an 8.
yeah, but I don't want to drop either one of the stones. Show.
Yeah. I mean, this is what
Show.
he does. That's what makes him Thanos.
Yeah, I don't know which stone I want to drop. I also want to try the time gem on Thanos. Um, like
Okay.
just it's like it's basically a recalibration matrix on a stick.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that would be probably fine since the only problem is like Cosmic Portal going down to once per turn and getting rid of it would probably be space. No. Yeah, it'd probably be space because that's the one where he moves himself. You'd probably have to keep mind, but then I would have to keep 2 stones. But I might try the time stone. Um, I think the time stone's actually pretty good. I might try that.
Okay.
Which brings me into a good segue because I've been toying with this list for a while. I do not own. So for those asking, why didn't you play Supergiant or not Supergiant, the
The
Black
Black
Swan?
Swan.
I
Yeah.
don't own. I do not own Black Swan and Supergiant. Which is a good segue because somebody else got to play a game and got to play with Black Swan, and I was very intrigued on how she did. If in our Discord chat because and this is why I was very intrigued by it. So Fred, tell us how she did.
I see. I see. So I played a game also. I played against Borka. I was playing Spider Foes. My list was new Doc Ock, Rhino, Venom, Black Swan, which is kind of the weird one in the group, and Lizard. And he was playing the new Cap with Hulkbuster, which is crazy. Old Captain Marvel and uh, Black Widow and Luke Cage. And
What
it was a great game. It
Which of the 3 Black Widow did he play?
a 2-point Black Widow.
There, the correct Black
The
Widow.
oldest Black Widow. Black Widow has a 2-point, a 3-point, and a 4-point version now. But the 2-point one definitely is probably still the best. So Black Swan, I took her without the Power Stone. I took her as just vanilla 4-point Black Swan, and she still did quite well. Black Swan has so much weird tech that's actually really helpful. Like anytime that your opponent rolls a wild, you can spend a power to blank it. You have to spend a power for each wild that they roll in order to blank them, but it is a really powerful ability defensively. And it'll keep people from getting their triggers. Like you can make it so that they will not get their triggers if you've got power on her. And she also has the ability to make your opponent re-roll their dice, which is one of the reasons why I included her in the roster, because it would be a free re-roll, and then she can pay to make you re-roll, which is pretty fun. In a Green Goblin list, I should clarify. But that's not the case in this one, where I was playing with Doc Ock's leadership. She did die. She died, I think, bottom of round 2. Like she did die pretty quick, but she did throw Hulkbuster, which is always fun, and she did a ton of damage to Hulkbuster, which I think probably. Anyway, this game came down to Captain, the new Captain America, beating up everyone on my list, and me not being able to do anything about it. We were playing on hammers, which I was not happy with, and what was the other thing? I think it was Demons Downtown. It was Demons Downtown, and the only person on my side that actually got to do everything that they wanted and live the dream was Rhino. Rhino ended up at one point taking out Hulkbuster and then KOing Captain Marvel in one turn and then picking up 3 hammers. It was like the best case scenario.
That's a literal dream for Rhino. Yeah.
Yeah, Rhino was the only person who really did a whole lot this game for me. Doc Ock died like a chump, which was really unfortunate. So, round 1, Doc Ock went up and picked up a hammer, and then Captain America came over, threw his shield at him, and dazed him with one shield throw. Picked up the hammer, and then round 2, before I could even activate Doc Ock, Captain America KO'd Doc Ock, which sucks. I was out my leadership. I was out one of my tactics cards because I had This Is Our Day. It did not go well from that point forward for me. I think that it was a closer game than that makes it sound. I did get a lot done with everyone else on my team, especially Rhino, but that being the start of the game really, really put me on the back foot. Also, the new Captain America, his Brooklyn Brawler makes him absolutely annihilate Rhino. Like, eventually it came down to him beating up Rhino, and he's rolling. He had a hammer, so he was rolling 10 dice, I think, against Rhino, because it's base 5 plus 1 from the hammer, and then he gets to add the character's size. And of course, Rhino's a size 4, so he's attacking with 10 dice and just annihilated Rhino. It was a good game. I got destroyed, but that's okay. That's normal for a game against Borka. And it was fun. I look forward to doing another one, trying out this list and playing with Black Swan some more.
I really
always-
like the attacks that add dice to the target's size.
Yeah.
It's a really cool thing that I like that they do.
Everyone
been doing.
The new Captain America is very good. He is very good. And his like leadership ability is great. His model is great. He is uh a good character if you are interested in picking up the new box.
I think there and there's a I saw a post just the other day on Facebook and the MCP page where they were talking about like should they play like the original Cap or this Cap or someone else, and there were a lot of people defending like this Captain America, like he's very very strong.
Yeah.
Getting a hit and an attack just to hit it and like being able to get a trigger off of the leadership is really really strong.
Mm-hmm. It's really good. Okay.
Well, that's
But
ironic
that's
because Black Swan actually would play really well under the
yeah, she
first
would
defender.
because she has a lot of triggers.
He has a lot of trigger.
Yeah. Uh yeah, she'd be great with the new Cap.
Did you ever feel with Black Swan that she would just not have that she just didn't have enough power to do the things that she wanted to do?
No. Even without the Power Stone, she had enough power to do everything. Now, that's because she was in the fray and she was
Yeah.
getting hit. And she
Yeah.
did get taken out. So that's kind of the thing. But I felt like she didn't need that's one of the mistakes that I've made in the past is putting the Power Stone on her, I think. Uh
I
because
don't think
when
she's good
she
with Power Stone. I don't like her at 5 threat. I think at 5 threat
right.
she's not nearly good enough.
She's too fragile at 5 threat. She gets taken out. And also she just doesn't pay for herself. But at 4 threat, she's got so many tools. She's got a throw that can throw any size, including Hulkbuster.
Yeah.
It's she's pretty good at 4 threat.
Yeah. I
But that's it
realized.
for oh, sorry, I
No,
cut you off.
you're good. You're good. No, you're good. I was just saying, like, I think it's a good thing. I like to see that you're, testing some new characters and mixing some things up with the spider foes.
I've played her before with Spider Foes, but I like her better with at 4 points than 5.
Yeah.
She fits better. All right. Well, that's it for the games that we've played recently. Uh, I don't think that there's anything else that we need to cover, unless there's something that either one of you can think of before we go to Magic. Yeah, I think that that's it. So today, the character that we are covering is Magik, otherwise known as Ilyana Rasputin. She is
which is
5
which is
stamina on.
incorrect.
Oh, is that not? Wait, what? What is wrong about that?
Her actual name is Ilyana Rasputina.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
They have
okay.
they have fixed it so that it's correct in the comics.
Is that
It just didn't make
I,
it to the card.
in a lot of in Slavic languages the last name
Is
is
gendered.
gendered. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Her name is Ilyana Rasputina. She has 5 stamina on both sides of her card. She's movement speed medium, size 2. She is 3 threat. And her defenses are 3 physical, 3 energy, and 4 mystic. Brandon, why don't you go over her attack suite?
Her first attack is an energy attack. It's Bolts of Offshore. It is a range 4 dice attack. It costs 0 power, and it has the ability after this attack is resolved, the character gains 1 power. The second attack on this card is a Mystic Soul Sword attack. It is range 2, 5 dice. It also costs 0 power. It has the abilities after this attack is resolved, this character gains power equal to damage dealt, and a Wild Pierce. Change one of the defending characters' crit hit or wild crits or shields to a blank. And then her spender is a mystic attack called Dark Child. It's range 3. It is 6 dice and it costs 4 power. When calculating successes for this attack, this character adds the number of skull results in both the attack and defense rolls to its total. After this attack is resolved, the target character gains bleed and incinerate special conditions.
Okay. And Brad, why don't you go over the rest of the card?
Uh, First active superpower, Limbo Step. It costs X. You spend 1 to 3, place her within that range, and once per turn. And then innate Sorcerer Supreme of Limbo. When defending against mystic attacks, for each wild in the defensive roll, You can change one of the attacker's crits, wilds, or hits to blanks, and then gain 1 power for each die change this way.
And that's it for the card itself. But we would be remiss if we did not talk about a very good tactic card that she has that is specific to her, named after a now defunct podcast
No,
called
it's
Journey.
not named
What?
after the podcast. The podcast
It is named after the podcast,
No.
Journey Through Limbo. It is an unaffiliated active card, and during Magic's activation, she may spend 3 power to play this card. Choose another character within range 2 of Magic. Place the chosen character within range 3 of its current position, and it gains the Incinerate special condition. That's really handy. That's handy for getting people off of points that you don't want to be on points. It also, you could use it to move your own people if you were so inclined. If you had to get someone somewhere. So
You can
I think
move
that
to take a Ghost Rider and put him 3 away from where he's at.
And not gain
Yeah, you
Incinerate.
could. And he'd
Not
be immune
gain
to Incinerate.
Even though he's clearly on fire.
But unaffected by the fire.
Yeah.
There's a huge thing too. Just being able to do this to like a Hulk or just a big body that would have to spend at least an action to get back into position is really, really relevant.
Yeah. You move Juggernaut away from where he wants to be.
Juggernaut's fine with that.
Yeah, he just pushes forward, but other like you get what I mean though.
Yeah.
They're
Juggernaut
The
was
Hulks
just
are
the worst example you could have chosen.
the worst choice. Yeah.
the Hulks are the biggest one, I think. The Hulks definitely feel that a lot.
Magneto.
Magneto, yeah. Any character that has to spend an action to move that doesn't want to is going to feel it.
Magneto will probably have to double move.
Yeah, which is rough. Especially if you've already ported. I mean, really anyone. I mean, it's a really, really good card. And giving characters Incinerate for effectively, and moving them out of position. So, like, not only do they have to move back to get in a position, they also have Incinerate on them. So when they get back, they're not going to do as much damage as they would have, and then you get to go into them incinerated.
Yep. Yeah, this is a great card. It's a great tactics card. If you were bringing Magic, you are probably bringing this card. Unless, like, you're really stocked for cards. Do you disagree, Brad?
There's a lot of good cards in the game, Fred. That's it.
Yes, there are.
There's just a lot
You're
of
right.
good cards in the game.
Yeah.
It will. If you're playing her in Defenders, you're probably taking it because they don't have any tactics cards. Convocation has a bunch of tactics cards. X-Men have a bunch of tactics cards. Yeah. Those are the affiliations she's affiliated in. So I think if you're splashing her, you're probably splashing her for the combination with the card, though. And you're probably taking it most times. There are going to be some times where you don't take it. Like if you're playing in a wide scenario, you're probably not taking it. Because they probably don't have huge threats that you want to limbo out.
Right. So what are your thoughts on the character herself? Let's go back to her character card. I think that for 3 points, she packs a lot of punch. Like she's got a lot of value here on the card.
Yep. I think that a lot more people should be playing her.
Yeah. She's got good mystic attacks. Like and those are worth their weight. There are a lot of characters that have pretty bad mystic defense. And Darkchild is very interesting because you get to count your opponent's defense skulls as hits for you. And that creates an interesting scenario for, let's say, a Cosmic Ghost Rider, where you were saying that he could counting skulls. Oh, does he not count them on the defense? He only counts them on the offense?
He counts them on everything.
Yeah, yeah.
He counts
So
them on tactics, everything. Anything where he's
right.
rolling dice.
If he rolls a skull on his defense dice against this attack, that oh god, well, it would
They're
count for
just void.
both. They
Yeah, they're
yeah.
just void. Yeah, that's a wash. It's the same thing with Dormammu. Um, it would come up when so like if you count skulls on your attacks, Dormammu counts them on both. So it just kind of voids it out
Yeah.
if you're counting them or not.
It's a fun effect there on Dark Child
Yeah, it's really
on
good.
Magic.
Her attack suite is 100% the reason to play her.
Yeah.
Mystic attacks are really like some of the most played affiliations and characters right now. I mean, Voodoo's still really highly played, but a big thing with Voodoo is the Mystic attacks. Uh,
Mm-hmm. She's also got an energy attack, and
yeah,
it's range 4, so it can really reach out and touch a Venom or a Carnage that's nearby.
and a Groot. There's a lot of really highly played characters that are really weak to energy and Mystic. So her. I mean, we talked about it before. Like, she's made her way into my defenders list just because of her attack suite. Um, her attack suite's just so relevant. And it stinks that like her best ability there, the Sorcerer, the Supreme of Limbo, doesn't come up because there's not a lot of affiliations that have access to a bunch of mystic attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, the worst part about that is it only works on Mystic attacks.
Yeah.
It's really good when it triggers, though.
Yeah, it is.
I keep I talked to me and Brad talked about it a little bit on Thursday. I'm eventually probably going to dive into the world of trying to play Convocation, even though I don't think I'm smart enough to do it.
Really
I've
nice.
just I've been on a like testing things and that's one I have all the characters for and I've wanted to play them, but boy oh boy do I not think I'm a smart enough human being to do that.
I think that you can play them very well. We'll
I think the
see.
biggest problem with them in this game, like, and the reason they're not highly played is because they are very hard to play.
You
Yeah,
played
they're a high
Magic.
difficulty
You
faction.
played Magic at a high level for a very long period of time. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I think I'm just hyping myself out of it. When they came out, I was not nearly a good enough player at this game.
That might be
Um,
true.
I would like to think that that has changed in the last, because they came out like a year and a half ago, right?
It's been a little while.
It was fall, so
So it was a
it
little
was
over a year
probably
ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, it's probably two
Yeah,
years ago.
I was real bad 2 years ago. I was that was like in the midst of my like 0-49 streak. All right, I was real bad. I would like to say I'm a better player now. They're probably after I figure out um, Thanos and the squad. I like the list now. Once I get that list to a point where I like it, that's when I'll move on. Like the testing for fun and stuff. Inhumans, oh boy, I've struggled with creating an Inhumans list. I actually gave up on it. Um, and that feels bad. I'm gonna get with
All
I'm gonna
right,
get with one of our friends from
Yeah,
Pittsburgh and
we're
for
getting
the
far away from the point.
listeners, for the listeners, real quick, Brandon gave up on Inhumans because he didn't want to buy Miss Marvel. That's it.
that's true. I didn't. It's not that I didn't want to buy. I didn't want to spend money. I didn't want to spend any money. It has nothing to do with just Miss Marvel. I did actively not want to spend any money um, on a list that I'm playing for fun. But to be fair, if she finds her way in another list, I will end up picking that box up.
All right, let's talk
Which
about Magic though.
Yeah,
yeah, I'm back on back to Magic. I think she absolutely shines as far as like convocation, and I think she's going to be a really really good addition to defenders. I haven't got to play that yet, um, because no one wants to play. Defenders are, I mean, the way I play defenders is not super fun to play against because I play Hulk and Ghost Rider, um, and I willfully give people the option to say no to that because that's not fun to play against. Bringing those models in a fun, friendly game is not fun for anybody. Um, so unless I'm actually testing and getting ready for a tournament, which will be this coming week, I will probably be playing a good bit more of Defenders this week. Probably try to get 3 or 4 games in, maybe 5 games in this week, depending on how my life works out. I'll definitely be trying to test Magic a little bit more, as well as some other models that I got in that I want to play with them.
I mean, she seems like she is definitely worth playing. Uh,
Yeah.
I think that she's kind of she does not have very many like special rules aside from uh
She's
her,
really good against Fred.
yeah. Yeah, she is. She's got like the ability to move around pretty easily with limbo step, and she's got a good attack suite and a good tactics card.
Any
And that,
character that can move, like, can essentially has an ability that gives her a third action, um, is nothing to scoff at. Anyone that can move themselves and then be able to attack twice is very, very relevant.
yes.
And
But
something they've stopped for the most part. We haven't got many characters that can do that. Uh, well, we did recently, but before, like Nightcrawler and stuff, like it's been a while since we got someone like, I mean, because we got like Cosmic Ghost Rider, then like I guess Nightcrawler and Kitty Pryde, right? Can
yeah.
both like move themselves. Like before them, like it had been a while since we got someone who could do that that I can remember.
Oh man, I'd have to think back through all the characters, and I can't do that right now. I know Juggernaut can pretty easily.
That was
Rhino can.
Rhino may have been the last one, and that was a year ago.
It was more than that. It was a while ago.
Rhino came out at the beginning of the year, beginning of this year.
Really?
I believe so. January of this year, I believe it was like the first week of January.
Okay. Okay.
I could be wrong. It might have been a year ago.
You
It might
might
have
be
been like
right.
2 years ago. But I thought it was beginning of this year because Rhino came out, and I used Rhino's release as like a changing point in when I felt like I actually like passed some of the people in our local meta and like skill wise in this game, or like winning wise. Like that's kind of when I started winning tournaments and events and stuff. Was after Rhino's release.
Okay. I mean, he's very good. But all right. I think that that's all that we have to talk about Magic is what I was gearing up to because she's got kind of a simple card. Uh
He was
Brad,
released January 13th of 2023.
okay, there you go. January 13th. Uh we need to give her a letter grade. I think that I would like to go first. I'm gonna give Magic a solid B plus as a character. I might be, I don't know. I'm gonna stick with that. I might be underselling her because she is quite good. I'm giving her a B plus. Brandon, what are you gonna give Magic?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I don't think she's an A, but I think I was in between B and B plus. Um, the attack suite is just getting better and better the more this game is releasing models. Um, so I'm gonna go B. I think B is really fair. I think it's a really good spot because there are times like if you're playing against like if you're playing against even like Asgard or like defenders lists that aren't weak to Mystic and Energy. I'm not sure at that point she does quite enough. So I'm gonna go with B.
Okay. And Brad, what are you gonna give to Magic?
Brandon's right. She's a B. She's very solid. She should get played more often. Um, B's
Yes,
good.
we have said it many many times that she is criminally underplayed. She is a forgotten about model because she didn't get a card that turned sideways, and she should see more play than she does.
Do you think that part of her being forgotten is that she was packaged with
Cyclops or
no, not
Colossus,
Cyclops.
sorry.
Colossus, there you go.
And Colossus was bad.
And Colossus was bad.
That box was also impossible to find after it came out. Like that was one of those like really under like underproduced
Underproduced.
boxes. Like that box is still really hard to find. Um, from what I have been, how I've been told. Like I
That
know I
might be
missed
why
some.
people aren't playing Magic. That might be the
Yeah,
thing, is no one can find her.
because I remember someone mentioned like, oh, I really want to get like Colossus, and it was just finding Colossus
Yeah.
was very hard.
Well,
So
uh, hopefully they will do another run and put some more boxes into circulation.
I think they should, especially with Colossus getting a revamp.
Yeah. Colossus
Magic
is going to get a
obviously
lot more play.
didn't. Yeah, and Magic didn't get a revamp, but
She didn't need it. She's good enough.
I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of like Lizard. Like you just look at the card and it's like this is enough.
Yeah. It's
Like
not
she's not,
like
and she's not as
brokenly
good as
good.
Lizard. I'm not saying she's as good as Lizard. Lizard's one of like the two best 3-pointers in the game. She's not as good as Lizard, but she should be in that play. Like you should be playing this model more often. I think it's the 5 health on both sides that scares people away.
I mean, she's got pretty good defense for a 3-pointer.
It scares me away. Even
Okay.
just rolling 3 physical with
Yeah.
5 health doesn't feel
Yeah, that's fair.
great. A lot of it too, if you get stuff thrown into you, like you're almost using your brace to protect magic, um, which doesn't always feel good. But I think yeah, she's still criminally underplayed. She's in the tier 1 of 3-threat characters. She's not S tier in 3-threat characters, but she's in a tier 1. Like she should see way more play than she does.
Yeah. All right. Well, Brad, do you have any comic books that feature magic? I know that you do.
I sure
I don't think he
do.
likes mutant. I don't think he likes mutant based comics.
I'm not even gonna. I'm not gonna respond to that. I knew exactly which 3 comics I was going to recommend immediately for Magic. The first one is the Magic miniseries from the '80s by Chris Claremont and there are various artists. I think it changes every issue. This is how the 6-year-old Ilyana Rasputina gets sucked into limbo, which is one of the hell dimensions, and is raised for 7 years by a dark sorcerer. Teaches her magic and stuff, and plans to sacrifice her to bring the elder gods to Earth. She runs into some versions of the X-Men that were also caught in limbo. It's really, really good. It's very dark. There are allusions to some bad stuff that happens to her while she's there. But it's good. Yeah,
Sounds
that's it for that
horrifying.
one.
How many hells are in this universe? Because there's
A
like fake
bunch.
hells and then real hells.
There
There's
are
a
multiple characters called Hell.
Yeah.
there's a bunch, and there's a bunch of devils.
There are a bunch of devils. There are
No, devils.
doubles. Are you
That's
thinking doubles Doubles?
no devils. Debils. Devils. They're like
I don't even know what
devil.
that word is.
They're
Yeah,
like
I mean,
they're like devils, but they're not as scary. They're devils.
I hate you.
yeah. Let's move on. What's the next comic?
The next comic is New Mutants, 71 through 73. This is part of the Inferno crossover, but it is pretty much separate from the rest of Inferno. So after she gets out of Limbo, she joins a team of young mutants called the New Mutants, and she's friends with them. And then in this comic by Louise Simonson and Brett Blevins, uh, a clone of Jean Grey is sacrificing babies, including her own, to bring Limbo to Earth and combine them. And so there's a bunch of demons running all around New York City, and Magik and her friends are there to try to stop it if they can.
Hmm.
Oh, if you want to
More of
read,
these
if you,
dang Jean Grey clones. How many different versions of Jean Grey and Cyclops have there been in this universe?
uh, one Cyclops,
I mean, it's more.
two Jean Greys.
You mean other than the original?
No, counting the original.
So there's only one Cyclops. Isn't there a Cyclops from another universe that comes in?
No,
I don't know. You know what? Never mind.
there
This
are
is
there
so
are
convoluted.
comics
I can't keep track
there
of
are
it all.
comics about other universes, but I guess if you're counting other universe versions coming to the main universe, there are three Jean Greys. But that's still not that many.
Hmm. Yeah, it's still not that many. It's more than what there should be. It's two more than the norm.
He just talks about Jean Grey so much that it makes you think there's a million versions of her.
Yeah, you're probably right.
No,
Like if there was
there's
another
mostly
me,
one.
it would be the craziest thing that's ever happened.
That's
Like if there was a different version of me.
that's like once a year in X-Men comics.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's what I'm saying. Is that it's a bananas. Anyway, whatever. Go on. Go
if
ahead.
you're
Sorry.
reading Inferno anyway, you might as well read the Daredevil tie-in where Daredevil fights a vacuum cleaner.
What?
The
Is it
demons
is it because it's the best thing to fight him because he can't hear anything while it's on?
the demons start possessing like objects and attacking people. And so he gets attacked by a vacuum cleaner.
I think that my answer was the correct one.
I mean,
He can't
whatever.
hear anything because it's making too much noise.
Okay, and then the third comic for Magik is New Mutants Dead Souls. This is Matt Rosenberg and Adam Gorham. Magik has been gone for a while, and now she's back, and no one's quite sure how. And she's leading the team, and they're fighting against Karma's evil brother. There's a lot going on in this comic, and not everything is as it seems. And this is the first time the current version of Magik, shows up, and that character has become very popular. So this is kind of where that started. The last page of this comic series is so good. Read it.
Okay. I will tell you this. I played the game Midnight Suns. It was a Firaxis game that came out, I think, a little more than a year ago, and it was outstanding. And Magic plays a very prominent role in that game, and I like it. Made me like her character quite a
That
bit.
that is the character you first see in this run of comics. That version of the character.
Okay,
That's where her current personality and stuff starts being developed.
it's like more solidified
Yeah.
who she is and
It's just
what
a
she does.
different version of who she is. So like the 80s version where she's part of the New Mutants is very like she's a full fleshed out character, but she is different than she is now.
Mm-hmm.
And all of that comes down to trauma and dealing with trauma. She has now mostly gotten over her trauma. So she has grown and become a different person than she was before.
Well, there you have it, everybody. Was that it for
Yep,
your
that's it.
Magic
Those
recommendation?
are three great Magic comics. Read them.
All right, thank you, Brad. Brandon, What what affiliation does she work best in?
I mean, she works really good in the affiliation she's already in. I think the thing you really want to focus on with Magic when you're splashing her, are affiliations that don't have a lot of mystic energy attacks. Some key ones that come to mind are going to be your
Spider
different
foes.
variations of Spider Foes, Criminal Syndicate. Also, a free Incinerate. If you're having trouble with Hulk, I think she's really good tech against Hulk, with the ability to push him 3, give him Incinerate, and then you can Dark Child him, or when he gets back, you have that ability to Dark Child him, as well as thing. Spider Foes was one I was actually really leaning towards. I like. I think it's a good splash of just abilities. Like they definitely don't have mystic attacks. I think they have 1 or 2 energy attacks in affiliation. Maybe,
Well,
maybe
they have
just
Mysterio, but you don't really play Mysterio.
yeah.
She
Mysterio
is
doesn't
better
count.
than Mysterio by far.
Yeah, if you're playing Mysterio for mystic abilities, like play Magic instead. Um,
Yeah.
being able to Dark Child to give Bleed and Incinerate, being able to push a character 3, and give Incinerate is really really good. Or place 3, sorry.
Yeah, but
Um,
it's an important difference.
yeah, she's also
You can
really
put them
good.
on the other side of a building.
She's also really good like anti-tech, because of the mystic, like the Sorcerer Supreme of Limbo. So if you are going against someone that has mystic attacks, like she's really good tech to kind of bring in to give yourself a little bit more of a fighting chance.
Mm-hmm.
Since you probably don't have that at all, because no one in your affiliation is strong against that. A la, if you've ever been incinerated with Rhino and had to face a mystic attack, you know what I'm talking about.
Uh-huh.
It feels real bad. Pretty much the whole affiliation feels pretty bad in those against Magic. Magic feels really good against them. Um, but yeah, I think she's more of kind of like I would like her as like an anti huge threat piece, and just kind of, if you feel like you're struggling against mystic and energy attacks, um, which Fred has had to play me a lot recently, and I think he's felt that more than other people would. Um, energy and mystic attacks are in a great spot right now, um, in just where the game's at. So I think she's a really good, just kind of tech piece that she may not be great in 6 months, but like right now she's gonna feel really good because a lot of people aren't in a good spot with mystic and energy attacks.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Okay. So we're saying spider foes? Is that what we're
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah. Spider Foes, yeah.
Yeah, I
Doc
like
Ock
it.
Spider Foes. Doc Ock Spider
I
Foes.
was gonna say the exact opposite. I think that she doesn't get a whole lot out of him. I think it's better. She's better with Green Goblin.
I just think Doc Ock's so much better than Green Goblin as a leader.
I I agree. I agree
So
with you.
I think I'm more forcing people to play the correct version of Spider Foes.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
I think leadership wise, it's
she
Goblin.
gets more
Goblin's a
out of
bit,
Green Goblin.
yeah, being able to try to get an extra damage through like Soul Sword, if you hit the Pierce and can make them re-roll a dice into like a blank and basically effectively getting a double Pierce, you're in a good spot.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, the only thing that's left is my non sequitur recommendation. And so yesterday I had the pleasure of seeing the what everyone is saying is the final film from Hayao Miyazaki, The Boy and the Heron, and that is going to be what I say that everyone should go watch. It is the most Miyazaki movie that it could ever be. It features a young boy filled with regret who travels to a different world, kind of fitting with magic a little bit, and encounters beings and challenges that make him rise to the occasion and become a braver and more capable person than he was before. It is a movie about uh, the failure of generations past. It is a movie about building a world that you want to be in, and it is also gorgeous on a level that is hard to describe for being a hand drawn movie. and it is. It's mostly hand drawn. So if you see it, think about that and think about how beautiful of a movie it is.
This is
And
so
def-
funny because I was going to ask you if you've seen this movie or knew anything about it today.
oh man, I am a huge Miyazaki fan, and I loved this movie. I loved it. Uh, I don't think I've processed it enough to say where I think it. I don't. It's hard to say that anything ranks in the Miyazaki like oeuvre.
That's
Uh,
a
it's a
that's a
hard thing.
hierarchy. That's a
Yeah, it's like everything is a masterpiece. And this one certainly ranks amongst them. That's what I will say.
Did you watch the dub or the sub?
I watched the dub, and I thought it was very well done.
The
A very
cast
good
the
dub.
cast is crazy for
The
the
cast
dub.
is bananas.
It's yeah, it
Guess
really
who?
is.
Guess who the heron is? And when you hear the heron, like look up the trailer and listen to the heron's voice, and then when you think about who it is, you're gonna be blown away because it's the heron is played by Robert Pattinson, and he sounds just like Willem Dafoe. Like, and I say that because Willem Dafoe is also a voice in the movie.
Yeah.
It's an amazing movie. Y'all should watch it.
I've been to the movies twice this week, ironically, and both times I was extremely intrigued on The Boy and the Heron, and neither time did I see that.
You got to
But
see it, man. You got to see it. It's beautiful.
I would argue that I saw the better movie, probably the only movie in theaters that's better than The Boy and the Heron right now.
I'm curious to know what you saw. If
Godzilla minus one,
okay, yeah.
which is absolutely phenomenal as well.
I've heard it's amazing, and I want to see that as well.
It is the highest rated movie of 2023.
Okay,
It has
well,
passed Oppenheimer as the highest rated movie of the year.
did you see Shin Godzilla?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
back when it came out.
is it like does it meet that level of quality of
It
just
it's better. Yeah,
it's
it's
better
better.
than Shin Godzilla?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's better than Shin Godzilla. It is a monster movie. It's a Godzilla monster movie. It's not a Godzilla savior movie or anything like that. It's actually a Godzilla monster movie, and they do a very, very good job. Um, it is subtitles, like you are going to have to, um, read.
Yeah.
There is no dub or there's no current dub. I hope they don't do one. I think it would probably ruin the movie.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's okay to dub an animated movie. I don't think it's okay to dub like a Godzilla.
yeah, but
You're
it is
taking the voice away from the actor who portrays the character.
yeah, it's definitely a suspenseful monster movie, but it's got a lot. There's a lot going on. It's really really good. There's yeah, like I said, I think there are three really good movies because the prequel to the Hunger Games is what I saw last night, and it was also very good.
I've heard that that's great as well.
Yeah,
This has
it
been
was
an
very
amazing
good.
year for movies.
Yeah, and it's funny because I feel like this is a year, probably the lowest amount of people. This is probably the lowest like year in the past 20 years of people actually going to the movies.
No, I disagree. It's 2020 100%.
That's well, yeah, that's fair. I mean,
Uh,
like the non-COVID impacted year, but I feel like I don't think I think I've only seen two movies in theaters this year. Maybe no, I saw Avatar. I've seen three movies in the theaters this year.
Well, I think the part of it is that there was like this glut that we're benefiting this year in a couple different places from a glut of like cultural and artistic goods that were held up by COVID.
That's
Like
fair. That's fair.
movies that were put on hold and video games that were slowed down
Yeah,
because
and this
this
movie
year has been
technically
incredible
came
for video
out.
games as well.
Yeah, and this movie technically came out in Japan. I'm not sure when it came out, but I don't think it was.
Godzilla minus one.
Yeah, it came
Yeah.
out in Japan well before it came out here. But
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly when it came out. I think it was like the beginning of this year or something of that nature.
Man, I want to see that movie so bad.
It came out in October, so it came out in October in Japan.
I should go see that sometime soon.
You should. It's good. It's about I think it's right over 2 hours or right at about 2 hours.
Okay.
It's a good watch. There's a lot. It's never you're never really bored. It's a good watch. You would really enjoy it.
I would very much enjoy it. I gotta watch it. All right. Uh, but that is it for us today. Everyone out there, pick up Magic if you can find her box. And take that in every way that you can. All right. See everybody later. Goodbye.